Hi everyone, I am Dr. Ravichandar Janapati, Professor, School of Computer Science and Artificial Intelligence, SR University, Warangal, India. Today's course is Foundation to Cognitive Science. In this lecture, we will discuss Introduction to Cognitive Science. So what is meant by cognitive science? Cognitive science, it is the understanding how human think, process, and respond to information. This is about cognitive science. Cognition means here how the human brain is thinking and how it is processing the information and how it is respond to the information. That is known as cognitive science. Now, here it is referred to mental state, mental process where which involved in acquiring knowledge, understanding. So it is involving in acquiring knowledge. So it is cognition is refers to mental process involved in acquiring knowledge and understanding. It includes perception, attention, memory, thinking, and decision making. Now, here in this cognitive science, we will discuss here what is perception, what is memory, how we are going to solve the problems, and attention as well as language. Here, what is meant by perception? Perception means it is interpreting sensory input. That is called as perception. Now, attention. It is focusing on relevant information. That is called attention. Memory. It is storing and retrieving information is known as memory. Thinking, it is reasoning and problem solving. As well as decision making means choosing actions. So these are the main components of cognitive science. One is perception, attention, memory, thinking, decision making. Here, coming to the brain functions. Here, brain consists of 4 lobes. One is frontal lobe, parietal lobe, temporal lobe, occipital lobe. So here, this part is known as temporal lobe. So in this frontal lobe, which is used to problem solving, planning, personality, as well as movement. Another lobe is parietal lobe. So this particular lobe, which can be used for, this is known as parietal lobe. This region is known as parietal lobe, which can be used for touch, and sensation, spatial awareness, reading, as well as some mathematical understanding. Then another important lobe is occipital lobe, which is usually backside of your brain. This is occipital lobe. This can be used for this occipital lobe, which can be used for vision, color recognition, visual interpretation. This is for occipital lobe. Then another lobe is temporal lobe. So temporal lobe, this part is known as temporal lobe, which can be used for hearing, memory, understanding language. And other two parts here, brainstem and cerebrium. Now coming to the cognitive model. Here in this cognitive model, we will give input that is called as stimulus, which process the brain input signal and it produces the output. So that is called as cognitive system model. This is, so we will give some input to the brain and which process and it produces the output. So this is the model. Example, seeing a signal, interpreting and apply brakes. So for example, when we are going in the traffic, so once if it is a red signal, usually we visualize or we see that signal, particular signal, and we interpret that signal. So this is the red signal, so we need to stop. So then suddenly we will apply the brakes. So that is called as cognitive model. So here how our brain process the information. Here basic information processing model, how our brain will process the information. So here usually it will take some stimulus, that is signal, just like red signal in the traffic area. Now it will take input and it will process, that is to be perception and sensory registration. Then another, it used to the storage and related process where we can elaborate, manipulate and selection and storage. These functions can be performed. Then this signal will be given to output process where it will process, it will produce appropriate responses. So this is regarding brain in basic information processing model. Real life examples. So here we're driving a car, so which involves perception, if you are driving a car which involves perception, attention, decision, action. So these are the main things which can be involved. So for example, perception means we are seeing the road. Attention means focusing on the road. Decision means some braking as well as turning. Here action means here we have to our motor response. That is, so we are applying the brake or we are increasing the speed or decreasing the speed and rotating the steering. So these things involve. How it is involving? Our first we are giving the input signal. That means we are seeing the road. Then that is called as perception. As well as we are focusing on it, and we are observing the things regularly. Then we will take some decisions what we observe from the things. So this is the real life example for perception cognition process. So what is the importance of cognition? So coming to importance of cognition, it helps understand human behavior. It helps in understanding the human behavior, as well as it is basis for artificial intelligence. So if we understand natural intelligence only, we can understanding the artificial intelligence, how the brain function. Then only we can mimic our brain. So that is cognitive science is very popular. So in cognitive science is the fundamental foundation for artificial intelligence. Then which can be used in engineering, business, as well as in healthcare applications. Here, coming to cognition model, which involves decision making as well as solving complex problems, increasing accuracy, as well as high level computation. These are involved in cognitive science. Then perception and reaction. So in the stage one, perception. So for example, here we are driving the car, just now what we have discussed. So when we are driving the car, our eyes will see. So this is perception. You are going to observe. This is the stage one. So in the stage two, you are going to identify the things. You are going to identify the things. Then in stage three, you are going to process the things. That is brain. And you are going to process and you will take some decision. So according to your input model, you are going to process and you are going to take some decisions. So here stage 4 is output. According to that, you are going to take some action. So this is, for example, here, whether you are you are driving a car on the road. So now, whether you have to apply the brake or you have to turn left or right, or whether you have to increase the speed, that depends on this perception and reaction. So this is regarding perception and reaction. Now, cognition in engineering. So cognition means here which can be used in AI system. This cognitive science which can be very popular in AI systems as well as brain-computer interfaces and human-computer interaction. Here cognition in business. So we can take decisions, as well as we can observe consumer behavior analysis, data-driven strategies. So these are, in this way, we can use this cognition in the business model. So here, finally, cognition means it is thinking system. Cognition means is the thinking system. Cognition is equals to thinking system. So this is mean cognition. So cognitive process work together to interpret and respond to the world. So this is cognitive process which involves work together to interpret and respond to the world. Now coming to attention. What is mean by attention? Attention means here understanding how we focus and interpret sensory information. How we focus on and interpret sensory information. That is called as attention. Now, which is attention is the process of focusing on relevant stimuli while ignoring others. That is called. For example, here the types of attention is selective, divided, sustained. So these are the different types of attentions. Perception. What in by perception? Here, perception is the process or interpretation of sensory information. That is called as perception. Attention means focusing. Here, perception means interpretation of sensory information, which transforms sensation into a meaningful experience. It transforms, this perception transforms sensation into a meaningful experience. Now, coming to relationship between attention and perception, here, attention selects information, then perception interprets it. If both work together, that is cognition. So coming to relationship between attention and perception, attention selects the information and perception interprets it. If both works together, that is called cognition. So what do you mean by visual perception? Visual perception. It is the process of interpreting visual stimuli. That is called as visual perception. It involves eyes and brain, the important object of recognition and spatial awareness, which is important for recognition and spatial awareness. So coming to visual pathway. So usually what we are visualize the thing through our eyes. We can see the world with the eyes. So coming to here, light which fall on the retina. So then coming to optic nerve. So from that visual cortex, then brain process shapes, colors, as well as motions. This is a complete thing comes under visual path. So first light, then retina, then it coming to optic nerve, then visual cortex. Visual cortex usually process the information. So your brain process the shapes, colors, and motion. So this is, we will observe the foods. So we see the food. So I. Now here, so I, we are seeing the apples. Then this optic nerve, which will take this information to the brain, that is visual cortex, or nothing but occipital region. Now here, so this region. Now after that, it will take some action. So based on that, it will process, then it will take some actions. So that is the pathway. So coming to features of visual perception, this visual perception features will be color perception, depth perception, motion perception, pattern recognition. These are the main features of visual perception. Then coming to auditory perception. Auditory perception, which is related to hearing. So in this, first we are going to process of interpreting sound, then which involves ears and brain, important for communication and environment awareness. Coming to auditory pathway. So first, the sound waves, ear can listen or to observe. Then cochlea, which takes auditory nerve. So from that, we'll go to brain. So this is auditory pathways. So in this, first, your ears will take the signals, then will process, and this cochlear nerves, here it will take the signals, then it will, your brain will process. Coming to features of auditory perception. Features of auditory perception. One is pitch, loudness, timbre, sound localization. So what are the features? Coming to features of auditory perception, one is pitch, loudness, timbre, sound localization. So what is attention in perception? Attention enhances perception. Example, cocktail party effect. So here, which helps focus on important stimuli. So in the cocktail party, here you are going to observe something. So that is called as it improves your perception. Now, this is regarding your perception. The inputs, then sensory buffer, which filters, which can be stored in your short-term memory. So where we are going to use these things? Auditory perception and visual perception. in speech recognition, visual systems, human-computer interaction, as well as in brain-computer interfaces. So we will use this attention, visual as well as auditory perceptions in speech recognition, visual systems, human-computer interaction, as well as brain-computer interface. Summary of this lecture is attention selects information, then perception interprets. Visual and auditory systems are key to understanding the environment. This is the summary of this particular topic. Visual and auditory perceptions. So thank you. Now let us discuss research directions in cognitive science. Cognitive science research is an interdisciplinary research. It is a future trends and emerging research areas in cognitive science. Now we will discuss future trends and emerging research areas in cognitive science. The main emerging area is a brain-computer interface. Cognitive science is an interdisciplinary research in that brain-computer interface is one among the main research area. BCI systems connect the human brain with external devices using a brain signal such as EEG. The applications of BCE will be brain control wheelchair, prosthetic hand, communication systems. These are the applications. Now, BCI stands for brain-computer interface, where the brain using EEG will acquire the signals. That signal will be translated into the commands. This is one of the upcoming research area. Now, coming to research areas in BCI. EEG signal processing, emotion recognition, brain signal processing, brain signal decoding, real-time neural interfaces. Now, coming to artificial intelligence and cognitive model. Artificial intelligence plays a vital role in cognitive modeling also. AI systems are inspired by human cognition. Research areas will be reasoning, learning, memory modeling, AI agents. So these are the research areas in artificial intelligence. Artificial intelligence and cognitive modeling plays a vital role, where here this artificial intelligence with the psychological and cognitive cognition knowledge, we can do some real-time projects like reasoning, learning, memory modeling, AI agents. Another research area is important is human perception and computer vision. This is another cognitive interdisciplinary research area. This human perception and computer vision focuses on visual perception and intelligent vision systems. The applications will be face recognition as well as self-driving cars, medical image analysis. So in this human perception and computer vision, in this application, in this research area, some of the applications will be face recognition. Face recognition means when based on our facial expressions as well as features, this AI algorithm will find the face. Then, so this can be used in some authentication process as well as security issues. Self-driving cars. Nowadays, this is the modern research area. Now, here self-driving cars are introduced into the market. So, in this self-driving cars, without humans, that autonomously the vehicle can drive the things. Medical image analysis. So, this AI and cognitive here it plays a vital role. So, in that here without any manual checking, we can with the images we can easily find the diseases. So that is using AI and cognition as well as computer vision applications. Next, another research very interesting area is cognitive neuroscience. Cognitive neuroscience. In this research area, it studies how brain activity supports cognition. The technologies involved in this will be electroencephalography, EEG, functional MRI, MEG. So these are the technologies. So using neurological signals, we can find the activity of the brain. So which from that we can find the cognition in that particular person. So this is the another area. Next, another interesting research area is human computer interaction, that is HCI. This research focuses on user-friendly and intelligent systems. The applications will be smart interfaces, virtual reality, as well as augmented reality. So in this research focus on user-friendly and intelligent system applications, smart interfaces, This can be used in virtual reality, augmented reality. So in this human-computer interaction, user-friendly as well as usability is the major problem. Then easy to use. The whatever that should be is user-friendly. So in that we are going to use cognitive skills, including by integrating cognitive skills with this user interface. We can improve the performance of the app. Now, future scope of cognitive science. Coming to future scope of cognitive science, here in this, the future research directions will be neuro AI, neuro AI, cognitive robotics, emotional AI, brain-inspired computing. These are plays very important role. Now in the future directions, we can integrating this neurological with AI as well as cognitive robotics. Next, another research is emotional AI. The another one is brain-inspired computing. Now, the impact of these applications will be cognitive science impacts healthcare, education, robotics, smart cities, defense systems. Cognitive science impacts healthcare, education, robotics, smart cities, defense systems. So in this, here we are going to conclude cognitive science combines multiple disciplines to understand, intelligent, and develop future technologies. So cognitive science is a interdisciplinary research which combines multiple disciplines to understand intelligence and develop future technologies. Thank you all. So this is regarding research directions in cognitive science. Thank you.